All right, mute. You guys are muted. Good to go. Welcome everybody. Little Vin Yin. Oh, hold on. I had an apple down here earlier. I wonder why there are ants in my yoga room. There's an apple core. So tonight, I have a really fun sequence practice plan, and we'll build toward it. So it might not feel much different than kind of a regular Vin Yin night until we get to that big peak pose toward the end. Come to a cross-legged seated position, and I put a folded up towel under my hips so I could lift my hips up a little bit. Bring your hands onto your knees. Close your eyes, sit upright and tall. Start to cultivate inhale and exhale breath through the nose. And we will use an Ujjayi breath tonight. This is a pretty standard style of breathing in a vinyasa class. So breathing in by the nose, lift and engage the palate. So you feel like a rushing sensation as you inhale, and as you exhale, keep that same engagement at the palate. So the breath is audible, often called ocean breath. Breathe in by the nose, out by the nose. Keep your spine long, lifted, shoulders relaxed. You can keep your eyes closed like this if you would like. If you need to open your eyes for any reason, yes, that is always allowed. But just naturally, kind of organically, start to make circles with your upper body using the Ujjayi breath. And think long, slow, and deep. This is a spine, shoulder, and hip opening action. Let's go 3 more this direction. And don't worry about where you are in your breath, just switch directions. So in addition to the Ujjayi breath, I will also instruct the use of our bandhas tonight. 3 main bandhas. The root, which is the muscles, it's an energetic center at the pelvic floor. The belly, which, you know, that's easy. We kind of know how to do that, right? You just suck your low belly in. And the throat bandha. Let's get 1 more circle and come to center. Sit upright and tall and receive the movements. So just for experience here, take a breath in and hold it at the top. Lift the muscles at the pelvic floor, suck your low belly in, and gently tuck your throat, your chin. Hold it. Now release all of that action and exhale. Take a normal cycle of breath in and out. And on your next inhale, hold it at the top. Draw in the root, the navel, the belly, and the throat. Pause, hold. Release the locks and soften the breath. Eyes open if you need to. Chest forward on an inhale, eyes up. Exhale, round your spine. Hands on your knees, inhale and exhale. So moving with the breath, the first handful of rounds. Inhale, chest forward, exhale, chest back. Hands on your knees, don't get too grippy with them. Just hands loose. And now going to a quicker cadence. So it's inhale, exhale, chest forward and back. Inhale, forward, exhale, back, quicker, quicker. Take 3, 2, 1, and come to center. Take a breath. Engage the locks. Hold. And exhale. Soften the locks. All right. Switch the cross of your shins and crawl your hands forward. Maybe your hands stop you at, a few inches away from your feet. Maybe you are able to clear your feet. Perhaps your elbows come all the way down. Wherever you are, breathe. Very simply breathe. Come back to that Ujjayi style. Mouth closed, jaw relaxed. On the inhale, let the belly expand. And on the exhale, kind of cinch everything in. Fold more forward as you exhale. Let's do one more cycle. Use your hands, press yourself upright. Lift both arms up over the head, catch your thumbs. Reach up, stretch up, take a breath. Right hand to the floor, side bend, reach your left arm over your head. Bring your right forearm to the mat and reach left arm. Pull and open your left side shoulder. Press your right hand, maybe forearm into the floor, and try to rock your left sitting bone back to the floor. Take one more breath. Complete exhale. Inhale up to center. And other side. Left hand to the mat. Slide your left forearm to the mat, maybe, and reach your right fingertips to the left. Push your left hand into the floor, squaring your hips back to the mat, and pull your right shoulder back. Maybe it means pulling left shoulder forward. Reach right arm. Use your breath. You are most flexible at the end of the exhale. So take one more big breath in, giant breath. Exhale it out, most flexible here. No forcing, no strain. And inhale up to center. Again, fold forward, slide your hands forward, dive forward. Zigzag your upper body a couple times, just moving side to side. And walk yourself back upright. Grab your right big toe with your 2 first fingers. Reach your right leg up and move your right leg in the hip joint. This is one of our favorites. Move your right leg. Shoulder can be relaxed. If it's a lot on the hamstring, keep the leg bent. So kind of more about getting into the hip joint than the hamstring at this point. Like we're early in class, right? Okay, let's switch. Set your foot down, grab your left big toe with the first 2 fingers. And again, be gentle, no forcing. You can have your left leg bent as well. Move your leg in the hip joint. We'll come back to this in a little while. This will help build us toward our peak pose called compass. Compass pose. Relax your jaw muscles. Let's rock twice more. And sit your foot down. Take one more moment sitting upright and tall. I'm going to turn to the side and simultaneously remove my towel from underneath my hips. Bring your hands to your sides, kind of right in line with your glutes. Push your hands into the floor and lift your hips up. Draw your belly in, broaden the chest, and very gently lower. Switch the cross of your ankles. Press your hands into the floor, lift your hips, draw your belly in, engage the root lock, mula, bandha, and lower. Now, bend your knees so your toes are on the floor. Toes, lift your hips up, belly in, and engage the root. Lower, cross your ankles, see if you can lift up all the way. You can always put your toes down. Belly in, engage the root, and lower across the other way. Do it again, lift, belly in, lower, and come to hands and knees. Come back to your easy breath. So we are using Ujjayi breathing tonight. Come back to your easy, long, slow Ujjayi breath. Engage as if you're going to yawn, the palate, back of your throat. Sweep your torso side to side, hands, palms, shoulder width apart. Press down through the index finger and thumb. Come back to center and straighten your right leg. Keep your right toes on the floor. Take your right foot all the way to the left. So the top of your foot is on the mat. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Push your hands into the floor, index finger, thumb. Draw the belly in. Side bending. Move the hips a little bit. Now, same leg, take it all the way to the outside of your right hand. So you're in a lizard or dragon lunge. Turn your left toes under, pull your left knee back. Make some small movements, shifting your body side to side. Breathing through the nose, shift. Come back to center for a half split with the feet wide. Walk your hands so they're more underneath you. They can also be on either side of right foot, point and flex right foot. Move your hips. Bring your right hand back to the inside of the right ankle and take your right knee behind you, table. Point your left toes stay on the floor. Slide your left foot all the way around to the right. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Top of your left foot on the floor, press your hands, palms into the floor. Make some small movements. Lots of side bending today. So breathe into both sides of the torso, right and left. Use your left foot to lever a little bit off the floor. And same leg, sweep your left foot to the outside of your left hand into a lunge position. Lunge, L-U-N-G-E, lunge. I know it sounds like I say lunch. or I feel like it sounds like I say lunch. Make small movements here. Shift your body side to side. Breathe in and out by the nose. What happens here if you try to engage your bandhas? So try, maybe at the end of an exhale, lift the pelvic floor, this web of muscles at your very bottom of the torso, the holiest of holies. And shift back into a half split. If you'd like, you can take left hand to the outside of left leg as you walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Point and flex left foot. So all of this just preparing us. Ujjayi breath, steady. Bring your left hand to the inside of left leg, slide your left leg back, table. Turn your toes under and press into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Push the floor away so your head hangs between your upper arms. Make whatever movements feel right now. Pedaling your feet. Broaden across the chest. Walk your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Lift your hips, straighten your legs, grab your elbows. Shift your hips side to side. Switch your forearm grip. If you need to bend your knees in the forward bend, do it. This will help kind of disengage the hamstrings, take some of that strain out a little bit, maybe. Release your arms. Feet are wide. Bring your left hand underneath your face. Bend your left knee and reach right arm up. Reach your right arm up. Twist. What happens if you straighten the left leg here? Come up high on the left fingertips. Take a breath and exhale, switch. Bend your right knee, right hand on the floor. Straighten left and lift the left arm to the sky. Draw your belly in. Firm your outer hip. Come up high onto your right fingertips and maybe straighten your right leg. Twist. And left hand back to the mat. Roll up. Belly in. Roll up. Arms relaxed. And head up. So we'll keep the feet wide to move through our sun salutes. My mat is not in the right place. There we go. So feet as wide as your mat. If you have something going on at the SI joint, if this just isn't gonna work for you, you can absolutely step your feet hips width. But we are moving from mountain forward fold into a squat. So know that that's coming, and it's the yogi squat malasana. So feet wide. Inhale, arms come up over your head, deep breath in. Bend your knees and fold forward, swan dive your arms down, bring your fingers to the floor or your shins. Come up halfway, straighten your spine. Bend your knees. You can turn your toes out and drop your hips down into a squat, malasana. Press your elbows into your knees. In fact, let's open up the hands. Open your hands to use your arms to lever your knees open just a bit. Draw the belly in. Bring your hands back together. Lift your crown. Fingers back to the floor. Lift your hips up a little bit. Step left foot back, right foot back to downward facing dog. Spread out your fingers. Inhale and come to plank. Put your knees down. Lower all the way to the floor. Top of your feet on the floor, shoulders back, low cobra. Lower again to the mat, exhale. Turn your toes under, lift your knees and press to plank and downward facing dog. Walk your feet in, look forward and step feet wide as your mat. Lift your hips. Bring your hands to your shins, come up halfway and come to your squat. Malasana, turn your toes out if you need to, elbows to the insides of the knees. Now, really engage, wrap your outer hips, lift your arms up over your head and come to stand. And exhale, arms down. Square your feet, feet hips width, second set. Hands, palms to prayer. Find your breath. Inhale, arms up. Add the back bend if you'd like. Extend the spine. Forward fold. Fingers to the shins. Come up halfway. Push your fingers into the shins. Lengthen the spine. Bend your knees. Come into the squat. Your toes can turn out. Elbows to the insides of your knees. Fingers to the floor. Lift your hips. Square your feet and step right foot back. Left foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Put your knees down, top of the feet down, lower. Lift your chest, again, come to low cobra, elbows in. Release to the floor. Turn your toes under and press to plank. Downward dog. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Your left foot to the outside of your left hand, come to squat. Again, find your outer hips and see what happens as you really engage around the hip socket, shoulders back, lift your arms, press up to stand strong and arms down. Adding on. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Right away, right into squat. Arms up, drop your hips down. Bring your elbows to the insides of your knees. Hands to the floor. Bring your hips up part way. Step your left foot back, your right foot back, downward dog. Lift the right leg. Bend your right knee. Point your right knee to the ceiling. Look under your right armpit. Square your hips, right foot down. Left leg up. Bend your left knee. Lift your knee to the ceiling. Look under your left armpit. Press your hands into the floor and breathe. Square your hips, left foot down. Shift your weight forward to plank. Option to keep your knees lifted. Bend your elbows lower, hover. Come to the top of the feet, straighten your arms, upward facing dog. Roll back over your toes, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. Bend the knee. Open your hip, point the right knee towards the ceiling. Straighten your arms strong, push your hands into the floor. Square your hips, look forward, and step your right foot between your hands. Bring your left heel down. Inhale your arms up, warrior two. Straighten your arms, reach your right arm forward, your left arm behind you. Reverse warrior. Lift your right arm up. Maybe you take your left hand around to the top of the right thigh and get in a beautiful side bend. Strong. Back to warrior two. Hands to the floor, lift your left heel. Step your right leg back. Down dog. Hold down dog, or come with me, plank. Bend your elbows. You can always put your knees on the floor in this chaturanga position. Upward facing dog, straighten your arms, toes down. Downward facing dog. Everyone meet in downward dog. Left leg up. Bend your left knee. Point your left knee towards the ceiling. Strong. See if you can bring equal weight into each hand. And square your hips. Hug your left knee in as you step your left foot between your hands, right heel down. Warrior two. Open the chest, reach your arms away from each other. Left arm forward, right hand back. If you feel like you need a focal point, look over your left middle finger. Bend your left knee more. Lift your left hand and take your right hand around to your left thigh. Pull your right shoulder away from your right ear. Reach your left arm overhead. Warrior two. Hands to the floor, lift your right heel and step left foot back. Stay here or come with me to plank. Draw the low belly in. Bend your elbows lower. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Set your feet. Spread out your fingers and inhale, right leg up. Bend the knee again. Point your knee towards the ceiling, turn and look under your right armpit. Belly rises and falls. Square your hips, look forward, right foot between your hands. Left heel to the floor. Okay, before you come up, walk your hands to the left corner of your mat. Crawl your fingers to that, like kind of 45 degrees away from you. Let me change position so you can see me. Crawl your hands out. Bend the front leg. One more breath here. Crawl your hands back in, come to warrior two. Bring your right elbow to the inside of your right knee. Look up at your left thumb. Now take your left arm alongside your ear. Bend your right knee more. Side angle pose. Release your left hand down, right hand down, lift your left heel, and step right foot back to dog. Stay here or come with me. Plank, belly in. Knees down if you need to, bend your elbows lower. Inhale to upward facing dog. And downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg up. Bend your knee. Point your knee to the ceiling, turn and rotate your hip. Point your left knee up. Take one more breath. Square your hips, look forward, left foot between your hands. Right heel down. Crawl your arms forward, coming into that 45-degree angle position. Bend your left knee. The right leg is straight. Press the outer edge of your right foot into the floor because you already do that from the right thigh muscles. Relax your face. Take one more breath. Use your hands, press yourself closer in and come to warrior two. Warrior two, left leg bent. Tip, so your left elbow comes to the inside of your left knee. Reach your right arm up and look up. Extend your right arm towards the front of your space, side angle pose. Are you breathing? Look down, hands down. Step your left foot back. Hold here in down dog or come to plank. Bend your elbows lower. Upward facing and downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, step it forward to the outside of your right hand. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand and come to squat. Elbows to the insides of your knees. So here we are, we've been at this for a while tonight. So maybe you can shorten up your step. Feet a little bit closer. Hands to the mat. Lift your hips and roll up. If you need to use your hands to walk yourself upright, do it. Shoulders back, head up. If you feel like you need water, you might skip it for a little bit longer because I'm gonna have us upside down here. I'm gonna take a big wide step. Line your heels up to the back edge of your mat. Turn your toes in crazy pigeon toed. Super crazy, like, I mean, not, don't hurt yourself, but like way, way, way more pigeon toed than you ever thought you ever could. Hands on your hips and then drop your tail down. So the front hip points lift. You're almost like tucking everything under, okay? Press the outer edges of your feet into the floor. Firm your thigh muscles. Squeeze the outer hips. We have a few more breaths here. Resist the temptation to kind of wiggle. Now fold forward. If you absolutely need to put your hands on the floor, do so, but we're going to keep our hands up. In fact, let's take hands behind you. You can either interlace your hands or grab your elbows. Let's go for elbows. Feet in that like very extreme pigeon toe position. Firm your thigh muscles. And let's shift side to side, right and left. Straighten the legs though. And come to center. Hold here. Firm the thighs. Bring some ease into your effort. And breathe. Eyes open for balance. If you need somewhere to look like up, which is down. Up toward your mat. Does that make sense? So look toward your mat. This will stretch your eyes. Most of us, or many of us, I won't speak in such generalities, but a lot of us spend our time looking down at devices or books or whatnot. So stretch our eyes. Keep your focus there. Switch your elbow grip. Grab your opposite forearm from what you just had. I mean, it's still the same elbow, it's just opposite stack. So although the legs are firm, see if you can disengage the upper body a little bit. It's okay to close your eyes. We're here for a little bit longer. This is really, really good medicine for your ankles. Super good medicine for your mind because you're upside down, you're seeing things a little differently. Maybe not so good on the sinuses, but you know, you probably have tissues close by. Ujjayi breath, building heat. Can you relax your neck? On your next exhale, hands to the mat. That was a long time to have our arms like that. Straighten your arms and crisscross your feet very carefully, closer in. Maybe hips width. Let's go hips width. Grab the elbows behind your legs. I'll turn to the side so you're in a forward bend. You can bend your knees. If it feels good, if you're ready to straighten your legs, go for it. And let's shift side to side. Very, very gently. Eyes open for balance. Switch the forearm grip. So same thing that we just did in the wide version. Just changing whichever forearm is now on top. Come to center. Firm the thighs and lean your weight toward your toes. Draw your belly in and sandwich your body more. Lift your shoulders. Steadily breathe. Release your arms and pivot so you can lie down on your stomach on your mat. All the way down. That sound is me blowing ants off my mat. They're everywhere, you guys. Come onto your belly. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead. So a lot has happened at the low back and the hips and the hamstrings. So just be here, receive. Stretch your left arm forward and roll onto your left side. So hopefully you can see me. Come onto your left side, lift your left hand under your head and pike your legs a little bit. Just a little. It doesn't have to be much, like a couple inches. Lift both legs. Take your top arm, your right arm overhead, and then lift both arms. Breathe. Lift your legs. See if you can lift your upper body a little bit more. Lift your legs a little bit more. Bring your left hand back under your head, your right hand back to the mat, your legs back to the mat, and roll onto your belly. So we did a lot of side bending to stretch, and that was some strengthening. If you were rolling and sort of tipping, this is absolutely normal. I'm kind of amazed I wasn't. Stretch your right arm forward, roll onto your right side, and bring your right hand under your head. Just kind of chill, like you're chilling. Pike your legs a little, flex your feet, push your left fingertips into the floor and lift your legs. And your legs don't have to come up super high. Do draw them together. Oh, look, see, this side's different. Left arm comes over your head and lift both arms. Balancing on your side, lift your upper body. Keep your legs up. Hug your legs together. Lift your upper body. I've heard this called many, many things. Come back to the reclined position. Left fingers down, legs down, and roll onto your belly. So fish out of water is my favorite name for that. Fish out of water. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your feet. Bring your feet back to the floor, hands under your shoulders, press up, down dog. Right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip, turn and look under your right armpit. Push the floor away. Square your hips, right foot to the outside of your right hand. Bring your left knee to the mat. Dragon lunge, 2-minute hold. Up to you if you bring your elbows down. Maybe you flex your right foot and open your right knee toward the floor. Once you get into the dragon, this is a passive pose. So really, if you're on your hands are supporting you, but there's not really much else effort happening. If your forearms are supporting you, same thing. So there isn't really much engagement. Right leg passive, Shoulders free. And belly moving. Use your breath. Come back to the Ujjayi breath. Left leg relaxed. Long held, passive, in air quotes, posture. So this one, of course, we are supporting ourselves with our hands or our elbows. And if you're on your elbows, make it more about forearms than like, you know, the pointiest part of your elbow driving into the floor. So spread the weight toward even the fingers. We have about 20 more seconds. See, 2 minutes is nothing. You can do anything for 20 seconds. Almost anything. Take a giant breath, expand your torso. And as you exhale, hands under your shoulders. Press yourself up. Turn your left toes under, pull your left knee forward, and slide your right leg back. Turn your toes under and walk your hands back so you can sit your hips onto your heels into a toe stretch position. Toes forward. If you need to support your weight, hands on the floor, do it. Hands on your thighs, that might help. Just about 3 more breaths. On your next exhale, hands forward, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Bend your left knee. Point your left knee to the ceiling, turn and look under your left armpit. Push the floor away with your hands. Square your body, your hips, and left hand to the outside of left foot. Right knee to the floor. And here's our 2-minute hold. Perhaps you keep your hands on your mat, maybe one elbow, maybe both elbows. If you'd like, you can take that. I'm gonna call it a half Baddha Konasana. Open your left knee, roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, but a little bit flex, like, you know, kind of like you mean business with your left foot. Elbows, forearms, wrists on the mat, if that is where you're working tonight. Breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Long held postures help to stress the joints and connective tissues. Stress in a purposeful way. So we are opening hip, outer hip, this big thick mesh of tendon and muscle that's on the outer hip. This brings pressure to the joints, pressure to the bottom knee, so the right knee. Our bones need pressure. The palate of your mouth needs pressure. So breathe through your nose. We're in the last little bit. Okay. Bring your hands underneath you. Be very gentle, gentle. This is the word of the day. Turn your right toes under, pull your right knee forward. Walk your left foot behind you. And let's lie down on our bellies. Make sure you have some room. Forehead to your hands. And if you'd like, you can bend the knees, maybe crisscross the ankles, open the knees if that feels good. I have one more kind of quicker hold before we move into our peak pose. Crisscross your ankles the other way if that's how you have your legs. Uncross your ankles, forearm plank, elbows underneath your shoulders. And just like we've been doing, spread the weight towards the hands from the elbows. So forearms, wrists, and I have my palms together. You can maybe, it's up to you, palms flat. Either way, the weight is distributed forward toward the top of your mat. Forearm plank. Lift your hips, walk your feet in like a whole foot, maybe even 18 inches, dolphin pose. Use your upper arms, your forearms strong, broaden the chest, top of your head off the floor, dolphin. Ujjayi breath. Knees down, child's pose, arms to your sides. Arms forward, table. Okay, so I'm gonna do my right leg, right foot to the outside of your right hand. pull your left knee back. Okay, so this is a little different. Listen. So right foot is the front foot. Turn your right foot 90 degrees out. Use your hands, use your left toes, lift your knee, your hip, and rotate your left thigh so the outer edge of your thigh and hip come to the floor. Okay, so it's important to rotate your right foot 90 degrees. And just in case you missed that, from lunge, rotate your foot. Use your hands to push, straighten the left leg, lift your left knee, and roll onto your left outer hip. We won't be here very long because it's very demanding. And adjust as you need to. Adjust as you need to. You can always hold your right ankle. I have my arm under my right foot. You can also come onto your left elbow, just so you can see. And that sort of changes everything, right? It takes some of the intensity out, which is not a bad thing. You can also extend your arm away from you so it's not directly under your shoulder. So work wherever you can hold for the next 30 seconds-ish. There is likely a nice stretch happening right here. Left outer hip, obliques. If it is a strain sensation, definitely back out. Big breath. Big exhale. Take one more breath. Okay, to come out, I'm just going to take my right leg and straighten it. And because I want you to be able to see me, I'm going to rotate. You don't have to, but maybe you do so you can see me. Come to table. Left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Turn the left foot 90 degrees. Left foot 90 degrees. Press into the mat with your hands, straighten your arms and lift your right knee. Use your right toes to help rotate your right hip, outer hip, thigh to the floor. So you kind of know the drill now, right? If you want, you can use your left hand, and for me, I'm going to take it under and around to hold my foot. If it's too much, just slide your left hand out. That takes some of the intensity away. You can also come down onto your, that's the right hand, right forearm. And depending on which side you are, right or left dominant, you know, you're gonna have different things going on. We are asymmetrical because of our habit patterns, because of, you know, whatever other activities that we do, have done in this and last many lifetimes. Three more breaths. This is going to make sense, I swear. Okay, I'm straightening my left leg. And go ahead and lie down on your tummy. Take a few breaths. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your feet. All right, the fun is about to commence. So find your towel again if you need it to sit on. I need it. I'm just gonna add a little bit, a little bit of cushion, and also have your strap close. I need my water. It's way over here. Water. And come to a cross-legged position. It doesn't matter which shin is on top. We're going to start with our right. Grab your right big toe again, first 2 fingers. And let's do this leg wave. Leg wave. The next time it comes to the right, hold here and kind of shake your heel. Shake, shake, shake. Shake the whole leg and the hip joint. Okay, now rock the baby either in the forklift position with both elbows under the right forearm, or wrap your left elbow around your right foot. The right arm comes around the right knee and we'll hang out here for a little bit, sitting upright and tall. Come back to the Ujjayi breath. If that is an unfamiliar breathing technique, exploring it here is totally safe. So it's a very kind of quiet ocean breath. You should never be like snorting. It's not a snorting sound. So it's very smooth, even, measured. It is a regulating breath. Chest open, elbows open. Lay your baby down and hold. Let's make some circles. Doesn't matter which direction, just a few, whatever direction you're moving. And then switch. Center. Left side. Peace fingers, big toe. And you don't have to straighten the leg. It's okay. If you're able to, do it. And then wave. Getting into left side hip joint. Building some trust, like allowing this in your body. 2 more waves. And maybe that was 3. Open your leg to the left and then shake your whole leg in the hip. Takes a little bit of like not thinking about it to do it. Like, don't think about it. Okay, forklift or rock the baby. So the forklift, both elbows come to the lower leg. Sit upright, upright. I have a mirror here and I can see that I'm kind of rounding at my rib cage. So fighting this side a little bit for me. And of course, you can take right arm around the left foot, left arm around the left knee to rock the baby. Breathe in, breathe out. All of this is purposeful. we do surprisingly challenging things like, who would think that this would be so challenging? Because the yoga mat is our laboratory, our microcosm of the challenging things off the mat. Let's lay the baby down. Sit upright. And make some circles. Upper body turning. You can bend your elbows, hands on the knees. Switch directions. Okay. Come to center. Shake your legs out. So I just want to show you guys kind of where we're going. Try to put your right leg on like a backpack. So take your right hand under your calf and bring the knee over. Bring the knee over. Yeah. Good job. I think one of you just may have gotten back on. So if you just got back on, see if you can put your right knee on like a backpack. And this is another reason why I'm sitting on that towel. Hello? I hear someone. All right, just keep doing what you're doing. If the leg is like nowhere close to your shoulder, that's okay, because we have our belt, which we'll use in a little bit. So, if you can get your knee kind of over your shoulder, you're pretty much in compass pose. Let's switch sides. So I'm sitting on a towel just for a little bit of lift. Left hand under left calf, right hand to the foot. See if you can put your leg on like a backpack. Like, I'm going to school right now. I'm gonna get on the bus and go to school with my backpack. Movement, this is okay, as long as it doesn't feel sharp. And again, if the leg is nowhere close, working in that direction, no forcing, ever, 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 ever. Trust yourself. Like, know when to back the hell off, right? That's part of trusting. If you're like watching TV, you can totally do this, just hanging out. All right, lay your backpack down. Let your hips settle, shoulders settle. You might not need your belt. So I'm gonna move to the first side again. Right leg, hand under the calf, put the backpack on. Okay, now listen, try it, trust yourself. Left hand, grab the outer part of the ankle. Right hand comes outside, kind of, just to your side. Begin to straighten your right leg. So this is why we did all those side bends and hip opening. This is compass pose. And I'm not worried about your right shin bone on the floor at this point. This is it. So be careful with your neck, your head. Open the left side rib cage and shoulder. And breathe. Are you breathing? Let me show you the variation if you want to use the belt. So I'm actually going to make a loop. It doesn't feel awesome. I'm just gonna be honest. To actually close the loop on your foot, not my favorite thing, but it does extend your reach. So if you are kind of working in the direction, you sort of get your foot, your leg on like a backpack, kind of, you can have this loop over your foot and at least start to straighten-ish the right leg. Okay, try it. Give it 2 good goes. It's what we do. And maybe you're just happy in rock the baby. That's awesome too. Okay, last chance on this side, compass pose. And there's a bunch of different kind of variations from here. Other side, if you need a little in-betweener, I think just the windshield wipers might be effective. This is a lot, you guys, a lot of hip opening. Good job staying with it. So we have our loop if we need it. Right hand to the outer left foot, left hand under the left calf, put on your backpack. And maybe I'll turn to the side so you can see. Yeah, smart. So I have, this is actually my right leg, but I'm saying it's my left. So it's basically on like a backpack. Left fingertips to the floor. Be careful. There's kind of a point where you're going to feel hamstring. Be careful. Start to straighten the bottom leg and turn, look under your left armpit. We've been doing that all night. I'll turn back to face you for the belt version. So belt on the left ankle, leg sort of like a backpack, kind of. That's okay if it doesn't go on. Left hand to the floor and straighten. Left leg. Straighten in air quotes. So that's using the belt. So give it a couple more tries, good tries, because you're ready. You've been working up to this point. If it's the whole idea, like 10,000 hours to mastery. Maybe this is the first time you've ever done this and you feel like you need 10,000 hours to mastery, and that's totally the deal. Some things come really naturally. Some sides come really naturally. This side is not as available for me anyway. But again, this is why we spent time in the side bends and the squats and the dragons tonight. You doing okay? Thumbs up. So there's one more variation of that I don't think I have time to do. Well, we'll go 5 minutes over. Classic Leslie. Let's see. How do I? This is my better side, so I'm gonna use it. Hold on. Now I'm confused. I have confused myself. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna put my left foot forward. If you wanna try this, this is an arm balance. Left foot forward, right knee behind you. Drop down low to get your left shoulder under your left thigh and pick up your left foot, stretch it forward. And you can either stay here on the right leg. I think I have to today. Or maybe you can straighten the right leg as well. So it's compass pose, and except you're balancing on your left hand and your right knee. Did that make sense? Not really. I think a nice lunge is a good way to get, sort of work on your 10,000 hours toward that. I'm going to just do the right side. To come low, right shoulder under right knee. I had to pull my left knee in a little bit. It felt like it was too far back. Left hand to the right foot. Push your right hand into the floor and straighten-ish the right leg. So that might be where you stay. That's where I'm going to stay today. But there is a version where the back leg is straight. I think I just wasn't quite warmed up enough for it. Anyone out there in Zoom land? Holy cow, you guys. What a lovely way to use a Monday night. I'm gonna set my yoga mat up for Shavasana. So when you're finished with your compass play, go ahead and lie down. And bring your knees to your chest. Hands on your shins, rock a little bit side to side. Come back to your breath and let go of any technique. Oh, gee. Let go of any kind of, like reel, like the going through the replay in your mind. Stretch your left leg out, hug your right knee up, and pull your right knee over to the left. Figure for a twist, and we'll hold here for a minute. Maybe left shoulder comes to the left a little bit. You can stretch your right arm out. And settle in. Soften and breathe. Bend both knees and roll to your back. Hug both legs to your chest. Make a few gentle movements side to side. Right leg to the floor, hug your left knee up. Left knee over to the right, twist. Very gentle twist. Maybe your right shoulder comes to the right. Left arm to the left. Find some stillness. Feel the breath as it travels in and out of the nostrils. Relax your neck and roll to your back. Bend both knees, roll to your back. Take a little bridge, feet on the floor, lift your hips. Lower your hips and extend out into corpse pose of choice. And my other real suggestion for this would be maybe a butterfly. Bend your knees with your feet together, outer edge of your feet on the floor. This would be option number 2 for me. Otherwise, corpse pose, shavasana, legs out, arms at your sides. Close your eyes and find your calm center. Without too much, like, do I have a calm center? You know, without too much kind of judgment. Like, find a place in you. Maybe it's deep in your heart, in your belly. This very still point. Perhaps it's your spine. And from that place, ripples of gratitude, accomplishment, contentment, send out those ripples first to yourself and then to the others in the Zoom room. And then to all beings. And receive this prayer, the metta meditation. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be free from suffering. Bring your hands, palms right in front of your heart. You can do this from corpse pose. Seal in your practice. Please take your time here. Corpse pose, shavasana. Have a great rest of your night, you guys. Namaste. Relax, stay stretched out. If you have a block nearby, find your block. Take it easy.